All right, welcome to the Music Firsthand live streaming showcase. I'm Chris Petrafka, and we're filming here from Austin, Texas, the live music capital of the world. And I'm so excited to do this special showcase tonight on this Friday. We're typically a Tuesday at 7 p.m. every week, bringing you live local Austin musicians. But this is special. We have Jake Farr, and when Jake Farr's in the room, it's special. And so that's why I'm excited to be here tonight with Jake. And if you're watching live right now, or if you're going to watch later, please like and share, because that's the currency that keeps our show going. We're a group of volunteers here working the room that's helping us out. And so we're doing this just because we care about live local music, and we hope you do too. So please, please like and share. That means a great deal to us. And if you're online right now, send in your questions. Our team here is going to take those questions in. They're going to send them to me, and I'm going to try to ask those questions here online and give you a shout out. And so I think we're a couple minutes into it. I think we've probably got a couple followers, which isn't bad. I think that gives us, I think we got a heads up on Conan O'Brien already. So, hey, with that, with no further ado, let me welcome to you the incredibly talented Jake Farr.
Thank you. I'll always be 16 in my mind, sitting around the table with plastic cups of red wine we stole from the pantry at your parents' house, and they won't notice if we don't laugh too loud. I missed my chance, I missed my chance. I should have asked you to dance. I missed my chance, I missed my chance. I should have asked you to dance. And I'll always be turned on by the thoughts in my head on a Friday night, when everyone else is in bed and I see you swimming across the Spanish tile pool, and I look away, but my eyes wander back to you. I miss my chance, I miss my chance. I should have asked you to dance. I missed my chance, I missed my chance. I should have asked you to dance. And I'll always be lonesome. It reminds me of you wasting away on a Sunday afternoon inside the window, drawing pictures in your room of blooming flowers in the sweet air of June. I miss my chance, I miss my chance. I should have asked you to dance. I miss my chance, I miss my chance. I should have asked you to dance. I missed my chance, I missed my chance. I should have asked you to dance.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's good. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
This is great. And we've known each other for a little while now.
Yeah.
Which
Been
is
a couple
good.
of years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We have a mutual, a great connection, a friend in Shannon Curtis.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, which is one of the best.
Yeah, I loved her book.
Yeah, fantastic book.
So I hope to. I think she might be coming through this part of town soon.
Yeah, I'm sure
Part
she
of
is.
the country.
She's on her house concert tour right now.
Awesome.
Yeah. One of the questions that I get a lot, and this is sometimes a very sensitive subject too, is about genres, right? And so you talk about, well, I'm Americana, I'm folk, trained as a classical guitarist. I'm not a musician, so tell me, what does that mean? What's your genre? What is that?
I think it's a confusing thing for a lot of musicians. I've recently changed genres. I haven't reflected that on any of my online stuff yet, but it was actually really nice to finally figure out what genre I belong in, and I've decided that it's indie folk chamber pop.
Oh, that's perfectly clear, of course.
Yeah,
so who cares about Americana folk? Now we're indie chamber pop music.
Yeah, that's right. And the great thing about it is if you pick a genre specific enough, then you're the only person there, and that makes you the best.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's my strategy. No, but I looked up chamber pop music, and I saw all of my favorite artists there. And basically what it is it's folk music, but you add kind of a classical flair to it. That can be through the instruments, like using cello, like orchestra instruments or brass, like the trumpet, and then just arranging your music almost like a composer would, as opposed to just like a standard 4-piece band or something.
Oh, okay.
And so I grew up playing classical guitar, and my father was a choir director, and so I have this huge classical background, and just recently, got into folk over the past, I say recently, maybe like 5 to 7 years, but the majority of my childhood was all classical.
So what does that look like for you as you're a guitarist, and when you put together your arrangement, your set, when you go on tour? What is that? How does that change? Because you talk about it's these different classical instruments that are involved. What does that mean for me if I were to book you for a show?
I think what it means is that I like the name chamber pop, because when you talk about chamber music and you're talking about classical music, it's literally talking about music that's played in a small room and people are listening.
Okay.
So my type of music is not going to be the best if you have a bar on 6th Street or something like that. My type of music is best if there's a quiet listening room, like the Cactus Cafe or Radio Coffee and Beer does a lot of stuff where they have, they transform their venues into listening rooms. Yeah. Which is super cool. I also love, we recently had a show at the Lemon Lounge. Yes. And they do that too. Yeah. And I think they're actually having a fundraiser right now too. So,
that's right.
I think they're doing some expanding, which is very exciting.
We were fortunate enough to come see you at the Lemon Lounge, and maybe it's just good because I know we have a lot of folks that are here in Austin. Like maybe talk a little about what is going on at Lemon Lounge. Why is that special? I don't think it gets the press that we hear from some of the bigger known places or more well known places like Cactus or Saxon Pub or Radio Coffee and Beer.
I think the Lemon Lounge is very unique. One, because Lisa Katile is the owner, and she is herself a musician. And so she just understands it from a lot of different perspectives. She gets it from the artist perspective as well as the audience perspective. Oh, okay. And then she's also got the whole business side of things too. So when you perform at the Lemon Lounge, I go watch shows there all the time. It's a great environment. She coaches people to listen to the artist, which is very cool. The Wright Brothers Brew and Brews right next door, so you got awesome coffee and great beer selection. And it's just a special place where people come to listen to music. And I feel like when you put people, a listening audience, and then good musicians in the same room, it's a really magical evening. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, and I know that we were there. It's because I appreciate seeing music in that environment. Yeah. Because you really get a chance to connect with the artist and be in that moment. And another element I know it's important for you is you do a lot of house shows. Right. And that's like being in that bubble, right? I think you get that opportunity, and you're dealing with a lot of unknown variables when you walk into a situation. So, of all the house shows you've done, what's some of the strangest stuff that's happened, during those house shows that you just would want to share?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind that is strange, although it's becoming less and less strange because it does happen so often, is that if people have dogs, they will be all up in the show.
Yep.
Which you guys have a dog.
Yes.
House concerts, is that ever a thing that happens?
It's happened a few times. I think as she's gotten older, it's gotten better. But yeah, she'll sometimes. But you know, it's actually she's more popular and famous than me or the band. Because literally, if she gets up there and we're recording it, we post that, that was what goes viral, not nobody else.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Also, babies.
And babies.
Dogs and babies are just so cute, and they'll steal the show every time.
Why don't you just call your genre dog baby music?
Yeah.
And just travel with dogs and babies.
If I traveled with dogs and babies, then I would probably be a celebrity right now.
You would?
Yeah.
Everything you do would be viral. You could just strum and just have dogs and babies around you.
And maybe some cats.
Oh, that would just blow it out the top.
For sure. I think, I'm trying to think of something else interesting that's happened at a house concert.
Do you get the people who show up and don't realize it's a house concert?
Oh.
Those are my favorite.
I think because of the nature of house concerts, it is slightly more casual.
Yeah.
Depending on how it goes, I played house concerts before where I was having a conversation with someone that was coming to attend that house concert, and about 5 minutes in, they would ask me if I knew who was performing. And I'd be like, oh, actually, that me, if that's okay. It's just funny because the nature of house concerts is people don't really know. They don't know who I am.
Right.
Other than, just hearing about me from their friends.
Right.
So.
They thought you were Chevy Chase.
Yeah, that's possible. I've gotten that a couple of times.
They're like, how is he really introducing? Claudia, can you do a quick search? Look up Jake's father, Chevy Chase, maybe. We're gonna find a connection.
Just talk to my mom about that.
The beauty about doing these is that I get to really study your stuff for a week or so, right? Because I listen to it, I know it, but then I really absorb myself into it, and I gotta brush up on it and try to study it. As I'm looking at all the photos, I'm like, holy shit, that is Chevy Chase.
That's hilarious.
It was beautiful. I was like, it's great, which is a good thing. He's a good-looking man, so it's a compliment.
For sure. And Emily's, my wife's mom says I look like Chevy Chase all the time.
Oh, all right. Well, good. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. So those of you that are watching online, if you've seen some of the posts that I made, I have a little fun with that. So we posted a great photo of Jake in his hippie days. He had this really crazy long hair, and I was like, oh, that is a classic. And it's a little grainy, but I found it. And if you do, it's a beauty, right, of Google. You can find the craziest stuff on there. So.
That's very true.
When was that?
That wasn't even the worst of it.
Okay.
My hair was pretty famous for a while just because it was so ridiculous. But you could, if you do enough digging, you can find the posts. But that was whenever I taught at Brandon Guitar Studio in Lubbock, Texas. And the owner, David Brandon, who is an amazing guitar player, the studio is fantastic. I took lessons there since I was a kid, and then I taught there when I was a little bit older. But he kept asking me to, get a picture taken, a nice picture taken, and I was just procrastinating and not doing it. And so one day I just showed up to work, probably hadn't showered, and he was like, okay, Jake, smile. And he took a picture.
That was it?
That was it.
Yeah, the hair is kind of disheveled, and I was like, that is classic. Because it's so, not like how I know you. So
yeah.
If you just did, a tour of, dogs, babies, and my hair, you could crush it.
That's true.
That's all you would need.
I feel like people would just come out of curiosity.
That's true, they would.
Yeah.
All right, well, I want at least a little bit of the royalties for that as well.
Then you can be my manager.
Yes. All right. Let's transition back to a little more music. I know a lot of viewers are tuned in now, they're going to watch later, and want to hear a little more music from you. So.
Awesome.
Great.
All right, well, this next song is called Deep Red Roses.
My favorite.
And I always feel like that I'm going to offend someone who speaks French because I do speak French in this song, but I don't actually speak French. So
you learned it just for the song?
Yeah, I had the French club at Texas Tech where I went to school. I had the French club at Texas Tech translate it for me.
Oh.
And I later had a few French friends, and I asked them if it made sense, and they said, kind of. But it's just the effect.
That's great. I love it. At least you're honest.
Deep red roses and the bitter taste of skins, the subtle bite that lingers when it's all about to end. That's why I drink it slowly, so I don't miss a taste. The plum, the tannins, or the sweetness of the grapes, flesh along your arms is textured with your veins. The vines pumping blood, and so the rest of you remains. Firm in your innocence, yet ripe in your gaze. The way that you stare and then slowly turn away. Say you love me the way that you haunt me. Need me like water and then be my wine. Say you love me the way that you haunt me. Need me like water and then be my water. Deep red roses and the bitter taste of wind. That look that you're giving me, you gave to other men, and they drink it like Shiraz or Cabernet Sauvignon. You do their avec soir, qui don't say all wrong. How many other people have seen this side of you? How many of them touch or kiss the way I do? But you look at me and I crumble like the gates of the Bastille. Dis-moi mon noir danse la roue jusqu'à la ligne. Say you love me the way that you haunt me. Need me like water and then be my wine. Dis-moi que tout m'aime comme tu me rends. Laisse-moi être ton nom et sois mon Farr. Deep red roses and forgiveness of my sins, that I might drink this wine until the bitter end. And that's why I drink it slowly, so I don't miss a taste. Tapu tisu la lucelle télébrée. Say you love me the way that you haunt me. Need me like water and then be my wine. Dis-moi que tu m'aimes comme tu me rends. Laisse-moi être ton nom et sois mon Farr. Et sois mon Farr.
Yeah, wow. That is a great song.
Thank you very much.
And tell us about the song. That one's been featured in a few different places for you, right? Yeah.
So this song, I was fortunate that just for the lyrics, I got placed in the American Songwriter magazine, which was very cool. And the actual song is about kind of being in a relationship where you don't really trust like your partner, and as it turns out, I'm now married to Emily, so things worked out. But at the time of that song, we were broken up. We have a super long relationship of coming together and then going apart again. So that was in one of those seasons whenever we were dating other people, but it was so complicated, as relationships are sometimes.
It's clearly very inspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you really feel the emotion in it. And I know when I watch artists perform live, and you can really feel like when they hit especially for an artist, it's probably tough to be playing the same song for several years now, right? And to keep that same connection to it. Yeah. And you can feel it as an audience, or you're like, they're still connected to that song, and they haven't given up on it.
Oh, yeah. I think I've recently discovered about myself that I'm a very peaceful person, very agreeable and likable, and music is one of the few places where if I like want to be angry or if I want to like show some emotion, it's a place where I can do it.
You can go there, yeah.
Yeah, because in normal conversation, I would just totally, serene most of the time.
So like, but if your life was a musical, that'd be perfect because you could just bust into song when you're angry at somebody.
Exactly. I haven't tried that yet.
Right.
But that would be a cool thing to get arrested for.
That would be.
For bursting into song aggressively.
You never know, they might pass out.
You're singing under the influence.
Yes,
that's right. That's good. And then let me then lead into that question. And your wife, Emily, you guys play together.
Yes.
My wife was telling me, or she was mentioning she read something about somebody had written that basically like there's that moment when a couple is together and it's like sort of the top of the pyramid of being able to be together is when you create something together, right? And you're working in that creativity. And I was like, wow, that's really profound. I'm like, I think my wife made that up, which I would like to think. Maybe she read it somewhere. But anyway, it sounded really cool. And I was thinking about that as I was looking at your bio through the week, and I've seen you and Emily perform together. So what's that like? You're creating something. There's got to be a lot of tension too, right?
There is tension for sure. And it's because we have the opposite, and this is what makes our collaboration good, but we have the opposite creative process. It's taken me anywhere from 2 months to maybe over a year to write one song. Because instead of writing a whole bunch of songs, I'll rewrite the same song maybe 20 times until I like it. And I'm a perfectionist, and it takes me forever to find the exact right word and stuff like that. Whereas Emily is something that I envy a lot, where she becomes inspired and she makes it up and it flows out of her, and I don't even know what that feels like. So usually what happens when we work together is she's inspired and it's flowing out of her, and me being the introverted perfectionist, I'm just totally overwhelmed, like I don't know what to do with all this material. So it's a good thing though, because she causes me to be more in the moment, and I think that maybe I bring to the table just a little more editing, which is probably my strong point.
It's a very nice balance.
Yeah, it is a good balance.
Yeah.
That being said, we've only written probably 3 or 4 songs that were true collaboration. Every song that we do, we each have like a piece in.
Okay.
Where she'll write it, but then I'll make up a guitar part, or I'll write it and then she'll come up with a vocal melody or something.
Okay.
So we always are collaborating to some degree, but the true like 50-50 collaborations only happened a few times.
And she couldn't be here tonight.
Yes.
How come?
She's in the Zach Theater musical.
Okay.
The $1 Million Quartet. She's Elvis's girlfriend, which I'm sure is a lot better than being Jake Farr's wife. But
and she's with Elvis 6 days, 6 nights out of the week, and with you 1. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So
smart.
It is really great when she gets to perform. She has a beautiful voice and is a great songwriter too. But she is performing once tonight, twice tomorrow, and then a matinee on Sunday, and she's just totally in that until September 3rd. But if you haven't seen it, you should go see it.
It's just got to be wiped.
It's a great show.
And she had a root canal today. So, let's just say, what's a normal day like when you're a performer?
Yeah.
Show what's going on.
I've been super impressed. She had this tooth pain, and she performed 2 nights in a row. I saw her last night, and she was amazing, and I know that it was killing her. So.
That's impressive, man. But that's what I love. I mean sincerely, about artists. And why I do what I do, right, is just that tenacity. That to perform is really amazing, and I share that. I hope I'm sure a lot of people watching now, I wish a lot more people would get in tune with that and really realize that's so important, right? And what you guys leave out there on the table when you really perform. So,
yeah. That's awesome. I do love that too.
Let me ask another question, and then I'm going to ask you to play another song, if you don't mind. You're into fantasy novels, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, is there any inspiration from some of those novels that you've read? Any in particular that that come to mind?
I think the main inspiration, and specifically, I say fantasy. I feel like I'm a little bit of a poser. I was a die-hard Harry Potter fan. That's my main. Right. I've read other fantasy books, but those are the ones that I dressed up like Harry Potter, went to all the parties.
I totally see that. I love it. Yes.
Thank you. No, but what I do love about fantasy, the fantasy genre in general, is that it takes you somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what I like to do in my music, is I like to go into places.
Yeah.
And I like that the magic surrounding certain places.
Yeah.
Whether it's a sculpture garden or like the last song, kind of like a French pub.
Yeah.
I've never even been in a French pub, but I just like that imagination side of me just like goes there and lives there for a while, and I love it.
Yeah.
And that's why I chose to write a song like with that setting.
Right.
The emotions and the feelings are true, but
Yeah.
usually a lot of times the settings are almost like the fantasy for me in a way.
Yeah. That's great, because that's what you want to be, is transported in a sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of fantasy films too, so it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. They're probably the latest ones I've read were the Patrick Rothfuss, like The Name of the Wind. Have you heard of those?
No.
They're really good.
Okay.
So those are probably the first more contemporary. I guess I don't know how contemporary it is, but how I've moved on from Harry Potter. So if anyone's looking for a good recommendation, I would recommend that one.
All right, good. Well, send us some recommendations online. We'll give you a shout out if you like. So,
Cool.
one last serious question before we get another song from you. What's the last furry thing that you touched?
That's a good question. I would say that would have to be my 5-pound Morkie.
What is a Morkie?
A Maltese Yorkie. She's very cute. Her name's Charlie.
Nice.
And she's basically the most adorable dog in the entire world. But anyways, right before the
That's
show,
great,
we
yeah.
were actually napping together
On
on the
the
couch.
best.
Yeah, it's like that's a pre-show nap.
I'm surprised you show up here for this at all.
I almost did. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Could have skipped it. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's hear another song.
Okay, this song is called Accordion Lady. It's one of my newest songs, and hopefully going to be recording it soon.
Nice.
I've just been in touch with the accordion lady who played at Blue Dahlia Bistro in East Austin. I think she still plays there on Friday nights, and her name is Shirley Johnson. And so we're going to jam on Tuesday.
Oh, cool.
So I'm super excited about that.
Where, at Blue Dahlia? Where are you
No, we're going to meet at my studio, which
Okay.
is Red Leaf School of Music.
Okay.
And that's where I teach
Red
at
Leaf.
Red Leaf School of Music. And so we're going to meet up there and jam a little bit.
Oh, cool. All right.
So
Nice.
this also is kind of French inspired.
Okay.
I'm just a white boy, cleverly dressed in suspenders and jeans, tugging the knob on the cigarette machine. I've got no rhythm. I'm tapping my toe in my brown leather boots, sitting alone in the corner booth. Accordion lady, serenade me, take off my clothes and dress me like one of you. I'm just a rich boy, pleasantly lost in your swirling tattoo, tracing the lines of pale pink and blue. I've got no charm, nodding my head as strangers walk by, struggling to move my lingering eyes. Accordion lady, serenade me, unlock my passion and change me to be like you. Da 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 da. I gave a few dollars when the jar came around, blending in with the rest of the crowd. I never learned to dance. I just sway back and forth with my hands in my pants, keeping time with a tune. Accordion lady, serenade me, spin me in circles and take me away with you. La da 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 da, la da 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 da
How can you not love that song?
Thanks.
Thank
you.
It's. I had to get up and dance. Those of you at home, you can't see it. That's the beauty of being off camera, but I'm over here dancing the whole time.
You're really missing out.
Yeah, you really are. That's why. Yeah,
it's inspiring.
That's right. Hey, if you want to be a part of our private live studio audience, DM us. We're up for that because we got a few spots here, and it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
We get to have dinner afterwards and have a good time. So
yeah.
You talked about teaching. And I know that we're actually both big fans of Kids in a New Groove.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, if you're a musician out there, especially in Austin, Texas area, that is looking to mentor kids, they do music mentorship, and so I'd encourage you to check them out. Jake and I were part of a fundraiser, and Jake donated a month of guitar lessons for Kids in a New Groove and for the Sims Foundation. But you also teach yourself, and you probably teach a lot of kids.
Right.
And like babies and dogs, people love kids too, in a sense, right? Just because the craziest things happen. So tell me about some of the, teaching some of these kids and what happens in those strangest moments.
Normally when someone asks me that question, I kind of go blank. But there is something that just recently happened that makes me crack up. And I teach this little girl. She's so cute. She sometimes comes to my shows if I'm playing at a coffee shop. Her parents are great. And her name is Sarah Jane. But she's 6. I started teaching her when she was 4. And so every day I go out to the lobby to go get her to tell her it's her lesson, or every Saturday. And she's always hiding. She'll be like underneath the bench in the lobby or inside the like a doorway. But as soon as I walk out there, she just jumps out and yells. And I'm so used to it. I've been teaching her for 2 years.
Yeah.
And she's normally my first student on Saturdays. But I had a new student. I won't say his name here because, although he probably would think it was really funny. And so we just finished his first free trial lesson, and he everything was going great. He led the way out of the studio. I was following him, and I felt sorry for him because he was walking into the lobby, and this little 6-year-old girl just jumps out and like screams bloody murder. And I did not see her. She was like hidden 100%. And anyways, I think it scared him pretty
hilarious.
Bad. It was hilarious. So
that's the kind of stuff you want to catch on camera.
I know, it was perfect. He was like, whoa. But anyways, so if you end up taking my Saturday morning guitar lessons, you better watch out.
Watch out for, what's her name?
Sarah Jane.
Look out for Sarah Jane.
Yes.
She'll jump out from the corners.
She is terrifying, but also very cute. So
that's well. Then you can tolerate it. It's like kind of like when they jump out and like they're laughing about it. You're like, all right, you little shit.
I know, it's so funny.
Yeah, I think what teaching and especially music to the kids at that age, that's a lot of patience. So
it is. We play a lot of games. I've had to invent a lot of games to learn how to play guitar.
Okay.
And occasionally I do them with adults too, if they'll allow me to.
Okay.
Because they're very silly and they're like, we keep score, but it makes it engage, almost the way the video game is. That it's like, if you mess up, it's like in the video game you lose a life, but you just go right back in to do it again. It's the same thing in guitars, that kind of feel I try to create.
Yeah, you need to set me up with some guitar lessons. I need something more than
I can't wait.
So another question then related to musicians and the quality of that. So if you were stuck in a treehouse with a nationally popular musician or band, who would that be?
It's a good question.
Thanks, I come up with these all day long. I know, right?
I think other than Beyonce, no, that would be great. I would have a lot of wonderful questions for her. But I think,
sure.
Now,
Emily would too.
Yeah, she's my wife.
So it's a small treehouse.
If I could spend a day with any musician, it would hands down be Damien Rice.
Oh, okay.
I think he's the one that converted me from straight classical music to folk music and seeing what that was like, because I remember I was my friend burned me a CD, which I know that's not a good thing to do, but
yeah, it's a musician burning CDs.
I know, sorry. That was a different time. It was in high school, but he burned me a CD, and the song Crimes by him, it was at the beginning of his CD 9, I think.
Okay.
I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand the words. I couldn't understand, like, the vocal harmonies were offset from each other in a way where I was used to them being like perfectly in line.
This was the 90s, right?
No.
Okay.
Not quite. But it was amazing to me. I just had to listen to it over and over again. It was so emotional, and I had never felt that way with just purely music before. And so I became a huge Damien Rice fan. And he just came to Austin last year, and so me and Emily got to see him. It was very cool.
Did you get a chance to meet him at all?
Oh no.
Okay.
We were like on the third balcony up.
Oh wow, okay.
We were both fangirling pretty hard.
Nice. Well, we give him a shout out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, and I know he watches this already.
If you're watching this, I love you.
He tunes in every week.
Yeah, perfect. That's great.
I'm sure he does. So you had the last album came out, Seasons.
Yes.
A couple years ago, right? So what's in the works? You got another one coming out? What's going on?
So I've recently changed philosophies a little bit.
Okay.
And today's day and age, I'm going to try a different system where I release kind of one song at a time.
Okay.
And I've got 4 new songs that are pretty much ready to be recorded. And hopefully I'll do a video, I'll get different photography, different graphic design done for each one.
Okay.
And then I want to have a really special show at a nice listening room here. And so that's my goal, is to make each one kind of a special event to kind of help build my fan base in Austin, and then also online through social media.
Yep.
And then once I've done those 4, I think I'll probably have the rest of the album written. Okay. And hopefully I'll have expanded quite a bit, and so then I'm going to try and release the album at that point in time. Okay. Which could be, a year away or maybe a little longer.
Yeah, because a lot of folks don't know, what is that, and I could ask Ben this, who's running our sound and our videos, he's the expert in this, by the way, Ben Levy, but how long does that process usually take, and how much does it cost? Because I think a lot of our viewers, or maybe non-musicians, just really we don't know, right? We just see an album come out, and we go, well, cool, where do we find it for free? We don't realize what it takes.
It's pretty crazy how much it can cost. I mean, there's really no limit to how much it can cost.
Makes sense, yeah.
So for the DIY musician like me, it's all about finding friends to do the parts who are willing to, like, let's say the going rate to hire one musician is $100 for the track. Okay. Which some people cost more, some people maybe a little less. But if you have, 7 or 8 musicians on one song, which somebody like me enjoys, I like that variation. Yeah. That's a lot of money just from hiring musicians.
It's true.
Not counting studio time, the recording engineer, the producer, the mixer, mastering, all of that stuff costs money. If you get a video made, that's a huge chunk of money. And then maybe one of the biggest ones is, once you have that product you poured so much into, it's very easy for you to put it on social media, upload it through all the websites, and then have 10 people buy it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because the marketing and the PR is so important, but that's a whole nother section of, you know, money you can easily spend 10 grand on promoting an album.
Yep.
And that's just, you know, having someone push it to magazines and blogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you got to pay for all that. And then I find too, when we do a lot of house shows, it's the people tend to buy the album more as an artifact.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that they're going to go home and they're going to burn it or copy it onto their media hub or whatever they have. It's more like I was there at the show. It's like I used to buy a T-shirt. I'm going to buy this now, this album, right? Because they know they can go get it online.
And that's what I do too. It's like I think it was Ari Herstand in his book said that it's you know, when someone buys your CD, it's 50% them saying I want to connect with you personally.
Yeah.
And the other 50% is they want to listen to it in their car on the way home.
Yeah.
And that's why I buy CDs, because I love connecting with artists personally, and I still listen to CDs in my car.
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school.
Yeah, yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, with Spotify and everything else, it is a kind of a streaming is the new thing.
Which I'm sure you're getting rich, really, really wealthy on the streaming.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crushing it.
Yeah, I'm about to quit my job.
I know, right?
I'm making so many of those concept plays.
I get it. Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier this week with the guys from Farr, and they were on here, and we just uploaded their video interview to the YouTube channel today. We talked afterwards during dinner. We were talking about the philosophy today of do artists come out with just one song, one track at a time, versus I think the old school ways of doing it, which is you had an album that told a story.
Yeah.
And I'm just old school in a sense, because I remember buying an album and being like, I want to listen to songs, track 1 through 12. Even though track 4 was on the radio and I knew it. Yeah. But you hear it, and if you hear track 7 and 8, you're like, oh, it kind of relates to track 4. And so I kind of miss buying the whole album and hearing the whole story.
I think that's something I miss too. I love that. I love putting in an album, listen to it start to finish.
Yeah.
And there's certain albums that I do that with just because I love them so much.
Yeah.
But I think you can have the best of both worlds because we also live in a day where it's not uncommon to re-release songs. Okay. So, for example, I'm planning on releasing The Accordion Lady as an individual track, but then on my next album, which maybe will have 10 to 12 tracks, I'll probably put it on there, and maybe I'll reproduce it or rearrange it a little bit to make it special for the people who, you know, have already heard it, but it's kind of unique in that way. And then they'll also be getting, you know, 6 or 7 new songs on the album. Okay. So I'm going to try and kind of balance those two worlds.
Now, do you have, are you planning to do any sort of like Patreon page or anything like that to connect?
Yes. Okay. I haven't quite set it up yet, but that is, I think, one of the best things that I'm going to try and do.
Great.
Is that I think through my house concerts and my email list, I'm going to try and connect with people and have developed that relationship with them where they, you know, for an insignificant amount, like $1 or $3 a month, we get to have this relationship where they get to hear my music first, they get to be a part of my creative process, and it can be really cool.
Well, those are like your true fans, and you're really connecting with them.
Yeah.
And speaking of true fans, and we have a lot of folks who want to hear more of your music, so maybe a couple more songs, and then we'll wrap up.
That sounds
all right. Let's hear it.
This song is called Fragile Bones, and it's kind of a song that was inspired by like Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill, that type of thing. If I could like write the soundtrack to that that song, this is what it would be. Still for a moment and rest your head. There's many miles until you're dead. So close your eyes and go to sleep, and I'll love you again in the morning. Rest well, my beauty, and stay in your bed. There's many dangers in the desert to dread, like snakes and hunger and the places in your head. But here I can take care of you. Oh, you've come so far, but you're still strange. The things that I'd give to you if I knew you wouldn't be staying. And oh, I hope that you're thirsty again, and I'll be right here waiting when you're weak and your fragile bones and your flesh require saving. Rest well and drink this water of mine. It's sweet, it's pure, and it's brewed every night. Close your eyes and go to sleep, and I love you again in the morning. Be still and listen to the longing in my voice. Don't break my heart like you did before. And oh, I'd weep like a babe would weep on his own. Oh, you come so far, but you're still strange. The things that I'd give to you if I knew you wouldn't be staying. And oh, I hope that you're thirsty again, and I'll be right here waiting when you're weak and your fragile bones and your flesh require saving. Be still and I'll hold you just one more time, and you'll feel my warmth in this cold, cold night. Do you think you'll really make it that far? Without me, you'll surely die. And the last one I'm going to play for y'all is called The Sculpture Garden. And this is about a memory, one of my favorite memories that I have whenever I was at the Nasher Sculpture Center in Dallas. And it was an afternoon that I got to spend with my sister. Eve covers up her body with her arms across her chest. Her head is hidden in the shadows of the forsaken and the blessed. We were sitting in the garden, in sunlight shimmer through the leaves, gleaming gently on the statues and revealing you underneath. Lucy lays in green grass, a bird is nesting in a dress. Ivy grows around her ankles as she smiles to herself. We were sitting in the garden, and sunlight shimmered through the leaves, gleaming gently on the statues and revealing you underneath. crying while she's sleeping. There's lines engraved around her lips. She's been praying on the sacred ground. Her head is fallen and her back is bent. We were sitting in the garden and sunlight shimmered through the leaves, gleaming gently on the statues and revealing you underneath.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
That was great.
Thank you for having me.
And any comments on those last two songs? I know you mentioned a little bit more about the first one. Anything about the second song that you want to?
I think maybe one thing just about my songwriting in general that I've come to discover is that I like it when a song reaches a point where it has layers of meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could interpret that as just being at a sculpture garden and enjoying the statues, enjoying the person that you're with.
Yeah.
To me, it was also on a personal level, kind of like really appreciating the relationship that I have with my sister. And like, you know, when you're kids, you just are fighting all the time. But like as adults, like enjoying that relationship. But then also just about, I feel like it was helpful for me just in general of like seeing the different parts of females in general. It's like each statue kind of carries something different that is beautiful about females. And so that was a cool thing for me as well.
Oh, nice. It's just a couple questions just to finish up on. So one of the questions I had was if with some of your writing and where it takes you and where it goes, which I know can take you to a lot of different places. Where's your favorite place to hide?
I think the easiest place for me to hide that I constantly have to break out of is not putting myself in the song.
Oh.
It's easy for me. I can write a song in a day that is about something else, about someone else, about a place.
Okay.
But I have to work at a song forever to where I start putting my own emotion into it.
Oh.
And that's what takes the longest for me.
Yeah.
But it's also the part that I feel like is the most rewarding.
Well, you put yourself out there, right? When you write the song, you have that's the hard part, and I think we don't appreciate it enough as listeners. We don't realize that. So then it's just a fun, simple question. Then, what's the best pickup line you've ever heard?
The best pickup line I've ever heard. Well, that would have to be from my parents.
All right.
I think it was because they met at church, and I think my dad said to my mom, "Save me a seat in church tomorrow." So, that was a pretty good one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I never used that one.
I know.
That's pretty good.
It worked.
Clearly.
Still married, have 3 kids. So
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Wow, good for you, Chase. Nice. And then as we wrap up, anybody that we didn't mention tonight, or any places or anything like that that's been special to you that you want to mention that we should give a shout out to? That's the beauty of the internet World Wide Web.
I think there's been a lot of people here in Austin who have been super supportive. Like they host house concerts, or whenever I have a show, they come to the show.
Yeah.
And as an artist, every artist has played a room where no one came.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, or where one person came, or 10 people came, but they didn't know you were going to be there, type of thing. And so I've recently been very fortunate to meet a lot of people who love music, who like to come out and support.
Yeah.
You guys are 2 of those people, you and Claudia.
Yeah.
But also, people come to mind are Amy Latham, has hosted me for a house concert twice and wants to do it again.
Do it again, Amy.
I know. She's amazing. Her and her husband Derek, and I teach their son Lance guitar.
Oh, nice.
And
does he jump out of the bushes?
No, he does not scare people. He is, however, he attends every workshop. He performs really well. and he does classical as well as like folk and country styles.
Okay,
And
well, have him on next week.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be a tough act to follow for sure. Now he's open for me at one of my house concerts. Oh, this was a great house concert thing. Can I
Oh
say it
wow!
really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Lance was opening up for. We had an intermission at a house concert, Amy's house, and so I asked Lance if he would perform.
Okay.
And so Lance is standing there in front of like 30 people, and he said, "I'm feeling a little nervous because he's probably, I don't want to get his age wrong, maybe 15,
Okay.
14, 15."
Yeah.
And his mom, Amy, goes, "Don't worry, baby, just picture everybody naked." And I was like, "Oh,
He's 14 or 15. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was great.
Amy, you're the best.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Also, Laura
That's great.
Weissman
Okay.
is hosting me for a house concert here. Some great people that have come to shows are Adam Karansky. He's one of my students. He's performing in one of my workshops tomorrow.
Okay.
He said he was going to heckle me online today, so I said, "Well, I'm going to watch you perform tomorrow."
Oh, so he's been quiet because I'm not getting any questions coming in. All right.
Yeah, he knows that I'll give it right back to him tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. I think that's pretty much everyone, but obviously I'm missing a lot of people
Sure.
just because, that's how it goes.
Well, that's the beauty of this. The post will be up for a while. We can give
Yeah.
shout outs later. And that's part of this. The purpose is to give you a chance to connect with people that, who have been supportive and helpful. And if you want to book Jake Farr, go to his website. It is jakefarrmusic.com.
Yeah.
And
There's the best way to get connected with me is through my email list. So at the bottom on the front page, you can sign up for my email list, and I send out an email once a month with funny stories, stuff. Do you get it?
I get it. I get the newsletter, yeah.
I have new songs, stuff like that. It's really fun, and then you can respond back to me. I love that.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, so connect with me there and book Jake for a house show, and Emily often accompanies you as well, so it's a great show. And then, so thank you guys for coming here tonight. Claudia has been working social all night and really hustling there to keep you guys entertained, and I hope you enjoy that. Please like and share. Benjamin Allen Levy, follow him on Facebook as well. He's been running our video and our sound. Our live studio audience tonight with Shelly Haynes here tonight, keeping the excitement, the energy going. And we're going to be on every Tuesday night at 7. Every once in a while we'll do a show like this. But again, please follow us on Facebook and please like and share. We hope you enjoyed it. We're here to enjoy live music. So thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Good night.